If you've been watching the White House coronavirus press briefings, you probably realize by now that it is all coming off the walls, and the World Mental Health Coalition is now urging Donald Trump to resign over being, as they say, severely mentally troubled in the middle of a pandemic, the coronavirus pandemic, which is leading to increasingly horrifying numbers of deaths here in the United States. The White House I'm sorry, the the World Mental Health Coalition posted a prescription for survival where they point out that they've been warning about Trump since 2017. They've had countless psychiatrists point out the dangers of Donald Trump in a position of power on countless issues. And now, with the coronavirus pandemic spreading and Trump completely on the wrong side of just about every element of it, while increasingly belligerent in his delusions of grandeur, the World Mental Health Coalition now outlines a prescription for what they believe should happen. And this includes some combination of using the 25th Amendment to remove Trump, a new impeachment attempt on the basis of his mishandling of coronavirus, Trump straight up resigning, a court ordered mental health eval, or the removal of his decision making ability on coronavirus, as well as the suspension of the White House press briefings themselves, suggesting that it should really be the CDC doing these briefings without political interference, which I agree with. Now, unfortunately, none of these things are going to happen. Donald Trump's cabinet is not going to invoke the 25th Amendment on Trump. They're just not. It's to even dream of a different outcome is simply not based in reality. Impeaching Trump over this, even if the House impeached Trump over his coronavirus response, it's not going to happen in the Senate. So that isn't going to be happening. Trump is obviously not going to resign the presidency. There will, of course, be no mental health evaluation forced on Donald Trump, and nobody's going to remove Trump's decision-making power on the virus. As far as Trump stopping the press briefings, good luck. Trump yesterday, for example, wasn't even scheduled to do a press briefing, but told people around him, hey, it's free TV and they get good ratings. So that is not something that is going to change. Trump can't do rallies right now because of social distancing, so he's doing the press briefings instead. So we have a situation where the United States is 39th in the world in per capita testing, not first, as Donald Trump has now claimed multiple times. The U.S. response was slow. It was wrong-headed on many fronts, which we've outlined to you. Daily, Trump is spreading disinformation like it'll go away like a miracle in April. We have 15 cases and we will soon have zero. Sometimes a scarf is more effective than a mask, and on and on and on. But in the midst of all of this, the only opportunity to remove Donald Trump is in November by voting him out. And that is something he is going to make as difficult as possible for people to do. Now, of course, I'm not arguing that the World Mental Health Coalition is wrong. Of course they are right. Trump's presidency has become deadly on this issue, as if it wasn't already deadly before on a number of different issues. But expecting any of these suggestions, 25th Amendment, resignation, forcing a mental health evaluation on Trump, it's just not going to happen. So let's focus our energy on two things that we know work. What do we know works? Social distancing works. Now, unfortunately, more and more right-wing churchgoers are not only ignoring social distancing, they are scofflaws when it comes to it. They are deliberately doing the exact opposite. We'll get to that later in the show. But social distancing works and we should be doing it. Number two, voting Trump out in November. You don't need to convince Trump's cabinet to invoke any amendment. You don't need to force anything on. You just vote him out. Okay, so he is not going to be removed by any of these other means that I've mentioned. Let's do what we can. Social distance now. Remove Trump in November.